What's up, y'all? This is Hammer here again, back with another video. And today I'm going to be talking about the Trump assassination attempt. Now, I know it's been a long time since that has occurred, and I know a lot of things have happened since, such as the Republican National Convention, where you had, Hulk Hogan tearing his shirt open. J.D. Vance being selected as Trump's VP. Joe Biden deciding he was going to step out the race and instead, endorsing Kamala to run. So I know a lot has happened since. And guys, don't worry. I will be making a separate video addressing the Kamala Harris situation. Now, it may be a live stream. I haven't decided yet whether it be a video or live stream will go to Kamala Harris, but I will definitely address it because there's a lot of stuff surrounding that situation. And personally, I don't think she can win, but we'll dive into that when the time's right. Okay, so look out for that for that topic coming soon. Kamala Harris and all that jazz. I'm thinking a video, but it could be a live stream. We'll see how things play out. But with that being said, today, however, I will not be talking about that. I'm going to be diving into the Trump assassination attempt, right? Because although it's been a couple of days since that has happened, I feel like there's been so much conspiracy theories around this assassination. I feel like, I felt the need to come out here and just address it, right? Number one, let me just say this really quickly, okay? This was not fake, okay? This was not a psyop. This was not the deep state. This was not Trump paying for people to fake the shooting so he could be more sympathetic. That's not what it was. It was real, okay? So let's just go over the facts really quickly, all right? Number one, based on what we know so far, a 20-year-old white boy went to a rally, got on the rooftop, and essentially shot Donald Trump. And if you look at the video, if you look at everything, he had Trump at bullseye. Okay? He had Donald Trump at bullseye. He didn't actually miss his shot. His shot was perfectly going towards Trump's head. It's just that Trump turned his head at the exact perfect moment. So, once again, the shooter didn't miss. Trump simply turned his head. Now, some folks are saying, well, this was a miracle. It probably was, because when you think about the fact that how he turned his head at the perfect time, yeah, it may have been. I definitely looks like a miracle. But let's be clear here. That 20-year-old white boy did not miss his shot. He had Trump's head at bullseye. Trump simply turned his head at the right time. And then on top of that, throughout the situation, right? Remember that it wasn't just Donald Trump, who was shot at. You had a rally goer who died throughout the situation, and you had, I believe, 2 others who were injured. Now, that was last time I checked. That was the totals. It's possible that more have died and more have been injured, but based on the information I got the last time I checked, the total was 1 person that died and 2 were injured. Now, it may be more now, but that's what I remember, okay? Now, if it's increased, y'all tell me in the chat if there's more folks who were injured or died, but based on remember, last time I checked, it was 1 person who was killed and 2 others who were injured, right? And of course, Trump had his ear blown out. So you cannot tell me that in a situation where the shooter had Trump's head at bullseye, Trump only survived because he turned his head at the right time, in which the bullet only touched his ear. Then on top of that, a person died and 2 others were injured. Now, it may be more now, but last I checked, 1 person died, 2 others were injured. You cannot tell me all of that happened, but quote unquote, it was all fake. The reality of the conversation is this, right? If we look at a shooter, based on the information we've gathered so far, and y'all can confirm if I'm confirming the chat, but based on what I remember, the shooter is a registered Republican voter. He's not a Democrat. He's a 20-year-old white boy who was a registered Republican. Now, y'all tell me in the chat if I'm wrong, let me know. But based on remember, the shooter was a registered Republican. Now, if that's true, then the question becomes, okay, why would a 20-year-old white boy who's a registered Republican try to assassinate Donald Trump. Well, here's the thing. We already know that in the Republican Party, there's a lot of anti-Trumpers. And it's not based on age. There's a lot of people, a lot of white folks, a lot of Republican voters who don't like the fact that the Republican Party has essentially just become the party of Trump. Okay? And so I can very much see a 20-year-old white boy Republican voter who, is an anti-Trumper, feels like Trump is taking over the party and decides to take him out. Okay, so it's not so. I hear people say, well, the fact he's a Republican voter shows that's a sign. No, it's very much possible that a Republican voter could shut him because once again, there's a lot of anti-Trumpers in the Republican Party. So here's what I believe happened: you had this 20-year-old white boy, registered Republican voter, probably was an anti-Trumper, probably felt like the Republican Party had become a party of Trump, and decided to take things into his own hands. He went there, had Trump a bullseye, and essentially, he didn't miss his shot. Trump simply turned his head and at the perfect time, which allowed the bullet to only hurt his ear. And also, one person was killed in that entire situation, and 2 others were injured. Now, it may be more now, but last I checked, those were the totals. So overall, you cannot tell me this was fake. It was real. Okay? And the fact that he's a Republican voter does not make it a psyop. It actually makes it more sense because once again, if he's an anti-Trumper, then it would make sense why if he's really that much of an anti-Trumper and he really feels like Trump is taking the party, yeah, I could see that 20-year-old white boy, taking those kind of risks. And I can see how that entire situation would lead to, someone actually dying at the rally and 2 others being injured. So all of this rhetoric about it being a conspiracy, it being fake, I need that to stop. Okay? So let's go over the facts really quickly. A 20-year-old white boy who was a registered Republican, more than likely an anti-Trumper, went to a rally to kill Donald Trump. He had Trump a bullseye. Okay? He didn't miss his shot. Trump simply turned his head and the shot hit his ear instead. And throughout this entire situation, 1 person was killed and 2 others were injured. Now, the totals may be more now, but last I checked, 1 person was killed, 2 others were injured. All of that was real. So all the folks saying that it was fake, I need y'all to stop. Okay? Now that we've addressed that, the second question then becomes, okay, so what would have happened if Trump was killed? So, luckily Trump was not killed and, we were able to move past that. But what actually would have happened if Donald Trump died that day? Well, here's what I believe would have happened. If Donald Trump did not turn his head and the bullet actually, pierced his head and he actually died that day, 2 things would have happened. Number 1, a lot of the Republican voters, the MAGA voters, would have just went off the chain. Like, think, for example, of January 6th, right? You had all these white MAGA supporters who literally invaded the Capitol, threatened to hang Mike Pence, attacking everybody, all because they believed that the election was stolen, right? Stop the steal. That's how much they went off a simple lie. I can only imagine what his supporters would do if Trump was killed. Like if Trump did not turn his head and he was killed. And no, the fact that the white boy shooter was a Republican voter or registered Republican would not matter. They would just say that, oh, he's a part of the deep state. So it wouldn't matter. So if Trump would have died that day, it would have been January 6th times 10. You would have had the MAGA voters, Trump voters, Republican voters out there just, man, it would have been insane. So the first thing that would have happened if Trump would have died is his supporters would have just went berserk. They would have wreaked havoc everywhere. It would have been crazy. It would have just been chaos and craziness. But the second thing, and I think the most dangerous thing that would have happened, is that there would have been a fear of revenge shooting. Because now if a lot of them Republican voters, MAGA voters, feel like this was orchestrated by the deep state and Biden to take out Trump so Biden would win, what would have happened is that in addition to them going out here, rioting, going out of control, going crazy, a lot of the MAGA Trump Republican voters, they would have tried to get a revenge killing. Every Democratic nominee, every Democratic candidate would have had to be on watch. Kamala Harris, Joe Biden would have had to have had 10 times security because there's already the fear that, okay, all them folks would have tried to quote unquote revenge kill on those two. And not just them, all the Democrats. So every single Democrat in office would have been in the threat because there would have been a fear of them voters or them MAGA Republicans trying to get a revenge killing, and all Democrats would have been under threat. So that would have been a fear. In fact, what would have probably happened is you would have probably seen multiple situations of, people on the right wing, folks with militias trying to make, assassination attempts on not just ordinary Democrats in office, but even Joe Biden. So it would have been a really crazy atmosphere. One, these white MAGA voters would have went around. So if Trump would have gotten killed that day, one, MAGA, Trump, Republican voters would have went out here, wrecked, caused havoc, caused chaos. It would have been January 6th times 10, would have been insane. And two, there would have been a fear of a revenge killing of these right-wing militias, Trump, MAGA, Republican voters trying to, quote-unquote, kill Democrats on the other side, whether they be a just, ordinary Democrat politician or Joe Biden or Kamala Harris. There would have been a fear of revenge killing when it comes to them, when it comes to them going after Democrats, because a lot of them would have felt like the Trump assassination was orchestrated by the deep state and by the liberals. Okay? So those are the two things we would have to worry about. MAGA, Trump, Republican voters going out of control, and MAGA, Trump, Republican voters trying to get a revenge killing or trying to kill Democrats or kill Democrat politicians, either goes if they're in the House or whatever they are, as a revenge. So those are the two I'm worried about. But yeah, so all the folks who are going around calling this a psyop, it's fake, it's a deep state, I need y'all to stop, really, because it's getting embarrassing. This was real, and we should be thanking God that he didn't die, because once again, if he would have died that day, the MAGA Trump Republican voters would have gone out of control. They would have wreaked havoc. It would have been January 6 times 10. And number two, many of those MAGA Trump Republican voters, especially those on the far right, would have tried to kill Democrats on the other side, whether they be just ordinary politicians or whether it is Biden and Harris. So, with all that being said, it is fundamentally a good thing that Trump survived that day. But with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and let you guys go. The next topic I will be addressing will be Kamala Harris. I haven't decided whether or not I'll do a video or live stream. We'll see how it goes. But with that being said, thank you all so much. Like, share, subscribe, hammer out.